Chinese snooker ever since he won his maiden title as a wild card here in China, beating the great Stephen Hendry when he was a teenager. And here he is, still going strong and playing some of his best snooker this week. Of course, he made the UK final this season once again, but he hasn't won a ranking event since the UK in 2019. Standing in his way, though, a formidable opponent in the shape of Shaun Murphy, who also looks as though he's coming back to something like his best form after a largely disappointing season. He won the Championship League at the start of the season, but since then, not much doing for Murphy. One or two memorable moments, not least that maximum break in the shootout, which was incredible. But he's looking to recapture the form that won him a couple of ranking titles last season. So this really is a match that promises much, with a prize, a meeting with Vafai in the quarterfinals of the World Open. Murphy taking a bit of H2O on board to hydrate ahead of this one.
Thank you. First frame, Junhui to break.
Junhui to get us underway. Shaun Murphy standing in his way of a place in the quarterfinals of the World Open. Ding and Murphy, former champions in this event. 2014, Murphy beat Mark Selby. 2017, Ding beat Kyron Wilson. 5 frames the target. Good afternoon to Fergal O'Brien. This really should be a cracker, Fergal.
Thank you, Philip. Yeah, really looking forward to it. Two players very well matched. Both great players and both in great form. Been scoring very heavy. Sets it up beautifully for tonight's match.
It's been a long time coming, this match. They haven't played since 2018. Murphy handsomely leads the overall head-to-head, 13 victories to 6. And you've got to go back over a decade for the last time that Ding got the better of Shaun. That was in the Shanghai Masters in 2013. So he'll be eyeing a long-awaited victory over the Magician today.
Yeah, we're obviously looking forward to the match, but you get a sense that tournament directors were aware of the significance of it. First time this week that Ding has played in a nighttime match. When you consider O'Sullivan obviously was in the draw, they just presumed this would be a fantastic match. Again, first opportunity here for Ding, as had been scoring very heavy this week. 5 centuries, 3 in his last match against Chow Yu Peng. He actually started with centuries in the first 2 frames.
And there's been a very business-like look about Ding this week as well. He's been seemingly very focused on the job of trying to end that ranking title drought, which is way too long for a player of his caliber. 2019, of course, he's come close a few times since then. Back-to-back UK finals on the wrong end of it last season against Mark Allen, this season against O'Sullivan. But certainly signs that some of the old fluency and that forensic break-building ability he has with the control he has on the cue ball is returning. Good time for it to do so as well. The World Championship a month away. Yes, the match earlier, you may well have been with us to see O'Sullivan Vafai. It certainly lived up to its billing. Vafai missed a sitter of a red when he was in to win in one visit in that decider. Looked as though he'd missed the boat. Then O'Sullivan lost position on the final red. Ended up missing match ball black, which was certainly not easy, but elected not to drop it in when he might have done, even though he ran the risk of leaving himself snookered, although his opponent would have needed a couple of snookers at that stage. And in the end, Vafai was able to clear to the black for a big win for him, because, of course, he's eyeing a place in the Tour Championship coming up in a couple of weeks' time in Manchester. And if he would have beat the winner of this match today, he would displace John Higgins for that tournament. And, of course, that then gives him the opportunity to be a seed for the Crucible. Shaun Murphy won that tournament last season, of course, but he has to win this event to be in this season. Ding Junhui is safely there already, 7th on the one-year ranking list. Oh dear, hit the wrong side of the red there. That's not a confidence booster early in the match.
Yeah, but also apart from the lack of accuracy, totally lost his timing on it. I think that's been significant with Ding's game the last few years. His delivery of the cue is not as smooth as it used to be. That pause at the back is not as pronounced. Effectively puts it together, his action. In close, it doesn't really affect him too much. From distance and needing power, it's definitely become a bit of a weakness in his game. I just feel it's also undermined his confidence slightly.
Murphy has got this far courtesy of wins over Mohammed Ibrahim by whitewash, Siu Sir 5-3 and Joe Perry by the same score.
9.
Couldn't have made a better start to the season. He won that Championship League, beat Mark Williams in the final. He didn't lose a match in that tournament, but since then he's actually lost 6 times in his first match in ranking events.
16.
But as we know, when he's in form, he's a class act and one of the most enjoyable players to watch. Such a smooth cue action. Loves to attack the balls. Former world champion and 3 times Crucible runner-up, Murphy. And I'm sure he'll be eyeing another assault on the title in Sheffield. So a deep run this week here. The perfect tonic for him with that in mind. And as mentioned, if he does win the tournament, then he will be to defend his Tour Championship title.
He had a fantastic season last year, played brilliant for certain parts of it. And then we've just been waiting this season for that kind of form to click in. And running out of tournaments. Again, apart from this tournament, as you said, potentially the Tour Championship and the World Championship. So still a lovely time of the year to hit form if he can.
It's a bit thinner than he wanted it to be. Yeah, that looks wide. Even on these seemingly fairly generous corner pockets by modern standards, that one was never going in. So a let off for Ding.
Yeah, when he played the positional shot from the yellow, he probably could have got a little bit closer to the next red. As a result, just clipped the red and ran out slightly out of position on the black.
1.
Yes, as Fergal mentioned, both of these players have been prolific in the break building stakes this week. Both have made 5 tons. Of course, Ding was on the wrong end of the perfect break against Zach Shurty, the 147 from the Essex Cuman, but of course came through nonetheless.
Yeah, both players have actually made over 650 centuries, which just shows that's their main strength of their game. Particularly Ding, his cue ball control, immaculate. Again for Ding with an opportunity in amongst the balls.
13.
This nearly feels like a long putt.
Ding has won 14 ranking titles and might have won more, but I think just as impressive as his CV is the way in which he's carried himself, because he's under enormous pressure, particularly when he plays at home, to deliver every time, and that was obviously difficult to bear when he was in his younger days. But he really has been a wonderful ambassador for the game of snooker.
21.
If he could land a world championship, well, that would take the sport to a whole new dimension globally. I think it would be a very popular win, not just for Ding and his legion of fans.
Yeah,
22.
we've been kind of waiting for it since he came on the scene almost 2 decades ago. I suppose with every passing year, it's probably less likely that he will. Still has time. But as I said, the last couple of years,
29.
I'd have question marks regarding his cue action and his timing, whether that could
30.
stand up over 17 days of the most intense pressure. But as you said, let's hope he does. It will be very popular amongst the other players.
Well, ironically, his best run, of course, came when he was having to qualify, going all the way to the final, losing that first session, losing the first 6 frames of it in the title match to Mark Selby. It was too big a deficit to bridge in the end. He was very competitive thereafter, only lost by 4 frames, but certainly in terms of ability and talent, he's got what it takes. And timing is everything, isn't it, when it comes to the World Championship? Dominated in a season, have not actually been able to replicate
46.
that form when they've got to the Crucible. Players who've struggled have prospered there after an indifferent build-up, so you just never know.
Yeah, it's hard to find that balance between form and also being fresh.
53.
Said 17 days, very grueling mentally. Seems to be getting harder and harder, not just to qualify,
54.
but to win it. Seems from round 1, there's classic matches. Now, the days of maybe easing your way into round 1 or 2 are long gone.
Well, that's frame ball that's come and gone. So Shaun Murphy, who just lost prime position on the black and missed the cutback a little thick, has paid the price.
62.
And you've got to think this match is going to take this sort of pattern. Both players are scoring very heavily, so whoever makes the fewest mistakes, you would think would come through. Can't see there being too many scrappy frames in this one.
68.
Both of these players can play safety, obviously. You don't get to the top of the game without being able to do so, but they would both rather be attacking the balls in amongst the reds. And there's just been a demeanour about Ding this week, I think, that he's completely in his own bubble. He's completely unfazed about what's going on around him. And of course, there's the usual clamour for autographs and photos and such like, but he's just thinking entirely about what he's got to do on the table, and it's working very nicely for him at the moment. What a start. A fantastic clearance from Ding Junhui after Shaun Murphy got him first, but missed the cutback black. And Ding off to a flyer, 1-0. Shaun Murphy breaking off in frame 2. This match promises to be something special, and nothing about the first frame would suggest otherwise. Murphy getting him first, missing, and paying the price with Ding Junhui once again queuing quite superbly. Break of 95 for the opening frame.
Foul, and a miss.
Yeah, Ding had no interest in that potential long red. He could have played to the right corner. Not only was it a difficult pot, but of course that red above the black made it very risky.
Junhui Lee is our referee for this. They played in all the biggest tournaments, these two, against one another, World Championship, Masters, UK. One of the more remarkable meetings between them was the Junhui Classic back in 2010. The city of Ding's birth, of course. Ding was 8-2 up in that final. Murphy won the last 7 frames to win 9-8, and Ding scored 32 points in those 7 frames. Extraordinary.
Yeah, remarkable comeback, particularly that way. Again, Ding will be keen here to hit this red on the black cushion, because of course if he misses it again on his 3rd shot, he'd have to hit something which would probably force him into maybe playing the red to the right corner. So he's giving this his full attention. Always the danger in playing that shot. If you just catch the red enough, you do leave it on. Again, Shaun can just roll this in pocket weight. And if he does that, I think you'd expect it to drop.
One.
Yeah, up and running. He'd be anxious playing this red to try and
8.
at some point get an angle on the black. Red's somewhat open. You feel one good split with power, they could open up beautifully.
9.
I like to play for the red. Go up to the blue.
17.
Also feel that's a better angle of attack to split them.
17.
Yeah, quite a poor shot there from Shaun. Don't think he was playing to hit the pink. Looking to get
22.
past it and split the reds. Again, that'd be a cause of frustration. He had a good chance at the start of the last. Broke down the 20s. Something similar could happen again. But again, he's to forget about that and just give an extra couple of seconds as he's doing. Just wants to find the toughest place to leave Ding.
Murphy. 22.
Ding just having another look. I think if he can clip this red, he'd play safe off it. Yeah, actually played it with a little bit of side just to try and gentle swerve around the yellow, and as a result of that, caught it too thick. It's going to be a cause of concern. Leaving Shaun Murphy from distance with his hand on the table.
One.
Again, well struck. Seems to have a lovely angle here to get into the reds, open them wide. Probably was expecting a greater split than that.
8. 请大家在检查手机，把手机关闭或者调整静音。
All he's left with this red into the yellow corner pocket.
Nine.
Made that look easier than it was. Very well struck. Again, split well, but
40.
the red going over to the left pocket just blocked the black. Don't recall seeing Shaun play too many shots left-handed. Might be something he's been working on. Struck her very well.
His performance in the Players' Championship for the top 16 on the one-year list last season was remarkable. He made the 5 highest breaks in that event, including a 1.45. And of course backed it up in the following Players Series event, the Tyrone Wilson from
21.
an early deficit ran into Junhui at the World Championship and lost in a cracking match in a decider, which at the time felt like a big upset, but of course C went on to get to within a couple of frames of making the final.
Shaun had the consolation there that C was a professional at that stage.
Well, yes, there was that. Bit of controversy prior to that meeting, of course, when
26.
Murphy expressed his dissatisfaction that amateur players were allowed to play in
27.
professional events, comments which he since retracted and admitted he was mistaken in thinking that way. Anyway, that's history. Right now, looking to level up at 1-1. He's already seen Ding is cueing beautifully, but he is as well. This really does look like being a breakfest today.
34.
These players have the ability to bring the very best out in one another, and already there's signs of that.
Yeah, this is exactly what we wanted and hoped for.
$35.
Mark Selby, once again, scoring very heavily. Championship League, of course, is a great opportunity for players to hone their skills. It's not necessarily a barometer for success in the big ranking events like these, but it seems as though Mark Selby has taken a lot from winning in the build-up to this tournament, because he's played some great stuff so far this week, and he's doing it again here to level up with Jackson Page after losing the opening frame. That match, of course, is available on Discovery Plus. That's Selby's 5th century of the week. And when it comes to Crucible pedigree, well, there aren't much better CVs than Mark Selby, 4 times the champion. His game seemingly tailor-made to the unique, grueling demands of that tournament. And I'm sure he'll be fancying his chances, even though overall this season has been something of a frustration for him.
45.
But once again, Fergal, maybe he's hitting form at just the right time.
Yeah, great news for all the other players.
46.
Yeah, terrific century clearance from Selby to level at 1-1. It's on Discovery Plus. Meanwhile, Shaun Murphy going very nicely here. This frame is won, only 59 left.
Yeah, you get a sense in this tournament that it's bubbling up beautifully for as we get close to the weekend. Top players, really good form. Remarkable amount of centuries already so far. Has been some shots where the pockets have looked nice, to say the least. But aside from that, the form that a lot of these players are in.
62.
Cloth looks very responsive as well, which helps. Sometimes over the years playing in China could be a little bit sticky, a little bit damp, harder to move the white ball. But certainly this season's been noticeable. All the tables have been playing beautiful. The players have responded to that. Again, with both players such great break builders, this match could be won and lost from distance. Can Ding prevent Shaun from having too many chances from distance? And if he gets his own chances, Ding, can he take them?
Nicely done.
7-7.
Yes, and you'd probably say Murphy is the better of the long potters. But the way they're both playing, it could well be one chance snooker all the way to the winning line today.
83. $86.
Yeah, the kind of match both players have been looking forward to and enjoy playing. As you said, they're not going to get bogged down too much in tactical, scrappy safety frames. Both of them want to get in first, and when they're in, win that frame in one visit.
95.
So far, it's been excellent from both of them.
Just the pink for a 6th century. Brilliant stuff from Shaun Murphy. He doesn't bother with the black. And what a start we've had to this match. It promised to be something special. It's certainly living up to its billing. One frame apiece. Ding Junhui breaking off in frame 3. Ding with 95 in the opening frame. Murphy responding with a century in the second. In this, their 20th meeting. Jackson Page had a 130 break in the opening frame, by the way, against Selby, who's responded with a 129. So the standard this week has been sky high. We have talked about how the corner pockets feel as though they've been more receptive than some tables we've seen on the tour, but even so, the snooker has been incredibly entertaining all the way through.
Yeah, it's been noticeable as well from the start. Not too many frames. The black. That the black. Been tied up. You sometimes find for a reason, as soon as a player breaks off, a red has gone close to the black, and that generally dictates the pattern of play. It hasn't been the case this week. And of course, once the black's in play, responsive cloths, these top players, you fully expect them to score heavy. And that's exactly what they're doing this week. Very good shot there from Ding. Not just to pot on the yellow, but to bring it round the angles and make that cannon on those reds.
4.
Again, at that one shot, he just opened up and made it a great opportunity. Again, I talked the last frame about the importance of playing from distance. Certainly wasn't a bad safety shot from Shaun.
11.
Ding managed to clip in that lovely shot to nothing.
Twelve. 19.
Yeah, just taking a little bit of time out just to think of his plan of attack, which red to play. How is he going to open up the rest of the pack? Is it best from the black or maybe the blue? Has the option here of playing the red into the left corner, going straight up for the blue. Probably more value in that. Can play a cannon off the pink if he wanted, as opposed to a big power split. Fraction short of pace, but still has the options. Those two reds open on the side.
Another big day for Neil Robertson, who of course has to win this tournament, otherwise he'll be heading to the English Institute of Sport for World Championship qualifying,
25.
which is unthinkable really for a player of his ability, but is a measure of how he struggled this season. He's taken the against Chris Wakelin, who made 3 centuries to defeat one of the form players, Ali Carter, 5-1 in the previous round.
26.
Robertson with a break of 140, so signs that maybe the Melbourne machine is finding the touch of old.
I'm glad I'm not there. Yeah, now Ding has the opportunity. Again, played it well. Caught the pink more or less full in the face. And as a result of that, that kept the white in the middle of the table. Again, the other concern when you play that, apart from the split on the reds, is sometimes fearful that it might tie up the black. That's not the case. You can see there the black's available. Having said that,
Ding Junhui, 31.
after doing all the hard work, you felt just that that's a basic enough pot. The frame was at his mercy.
Well, you heard the gasps of surprise as much as anything from this crowd. Errors have been few and far between so far, but that certainly was one. So Murphy back at the table, just 31 adrift.
One.
Would have been concerned for a moment, having flicked the blue, that maybe that cue ball was bound for the centre pocket, but happily for Murphy, not the case.
Six. Seven.
Neil Robertson's just made another century, by the way, in frame 2, so the best way to answer your critics on the table. Robertson's certainly doing that at the moment. For so many seasons in recent times, he's gone as
12.
one of the, if not the favourite to win at the Crucible. It would be ironic, wouldn't it, if he showed up this year as a qualifier or no and lifted his second title after the season he's had. Anyway, he's going very nicely, thank you, at the moment against Chris Wakelin. Murphy with a chance to inflict a painful blow on Ding, who was in nicely there before missing unexpectedly.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere.
20.
Not only did he look so good so far today, but very basic shot as well. And Shaun will be aware of the significance of it if he can win the frame from here. Both of them playing very well. It's going to be a match of few mistakes and small margins. There's a chance here for Shaun to strike an early blow.
$28. 29. $36, $37.
Yeah, Shaun would have
44.
been looking for a better split on the reds than he's got. Obviously, still has this red. Debating whether to maybe play it into the ball corner pocket or maybe cut it back into that middle.
Fairly routine red to the right corner, scuppering Ding in this frame, but plenty still for Murphy to do to win it.
He's just trying to see, not only can he just go for this red, but is there a place he can leave it that if he was to miss it would be difficult for Ding.
45.
Again, because of that, he was aware of the significance of that. Didn't try to do anything too much with the cue ball. Literally just made sure he potted. Not ideal on this blue either, but you feel just 2 good positional shots away from having the frame in his mercy. Just coming down to see, does that black pass that red and go to the left
15.
corner?
$51.
Again, perfect example of why Shaun has the reputation as the best player on the tour using the rest. When using the rest, his cue action is the exact same.
56.
Without it, no compromise on technique.
57.
He's one of those players, isn't he, that even when he's struggling, he looks good. That cue action never seems to deviate.
Yeah, and with that cue action, you feel so long as his concentration, keeping his mind focused on each shot, is at his best,
64.
he's more than a match for anybody.
Well, this is frame ball. And these are the frames that are going to make the difference at the end of this
65.
match. Ding was in, missed the red. Murphy, of course, missed a black in the first frame, which proved to be his last shot of that opening frame with the 95 clearance from Ding, responding with a century. But this is even more important
72.
when your opponent's had the chance and you can punish their mistake. But what a terrific match this is turning out to be, just as we expected it would be. We've waited a long time for it, 2018, the last time they crossed swords. Certainly been worth the wait.
Yeah, and you feel
77.
not just to win this match, they're going to be at their very best, but to win this tournament, as we've seen already, say, centuries flying in across the board.
81.
Again, whoever wins this tournament is going to play phenomenal, you feel, to win it. Again, great to look forward to. We haven't even reached the quarter-final stage yet.
86.
Not quite enough for a century for Murphy, but what a break. What an important break. And 1 or 2 pots that needed to
86 in frame.
be executed, which could have been missed, but that's a punishing break to the blue for a 2-1 lead. Shaun Murphy then, 2-1 to the good.
Yeah, good break again from Shaun. Ding can hit the red and close to the right cushion, but Always a danger of playing a double kiss on that kind of shot. Looking at playing 2 cushions. Get a glancing blow, back down to balk. Didn't get that glancing blow. But has he covered an opportunity to the right corner? When he made contact with the red, Ding would have feared the worst. But the reds managed to be blocking each other. Again, already there's only been 3 shots. The reds are open nicely. Black's available. Premium now on playing excellent safety shot. If you don't, it could well be your last shot. Yeah, good contact on the red. Found the gap. Got a very nice glance off the green there. Bring it very close to the ball cushion.
And that has brought the mistake. But what's the damage? Red's beautifully scattered. Can Ding get through to one? It would appear he can. So what a chance this is already. To make up for the misread in the previous frame, which allowed Murphy to step in with 86 for 2-1. This is a gilt-edged chance for 2 each at the interval. Almost an embarrassment of options, Fergal.
Yeah, lovely position to be in.
Nine.
Balls are so nicely spread. Ding doesn't have to be his usual precise self. Could just play for an area. Transervant plays for any area. He'll have a choice of 4 or 5 reds. This is just an exercise in concentration far more than skill.
14. 15.
Totally focused on just 1 shot at a time. Move on from ball to ball. Get ahead of himself and presume he's going to make a clearance. Presume he's going to make it 2-all. Again, but it seems nearly impossible that he won't win the frame from here.
Junhui just reminding the audience to keep still. It's a lovely looking table for sure, but I guess that does in itself apply the pressure that you know that you really have to clear up in a scenario like this. And a bit of a no-win situation in some ways. You're expected to, but equally we know things can go wrong out of the blue.
Yeah, maybe that missed a simple red in the last frame. Probably less likely they will miss anything simple again. Just give them a reminder that you can't take it for granted. You can't just look at the balls and they'll go in the pocket. You physically and mentally still have to do your stuff.
Well, it was a rare aberration from Ding this week for sure. Came out of the blue, that miss. You heard the gasps of surprise from the crowd, but an immediate opportunity to make amends and
39.
share this mini session and make it a best of 5 on the other side of the interval.
Yeah, it's kind of match so far. You're sad that it's only a best of 9. You could watch this for hours.
46.
Basically just have to get in first, and if you did get in first, you have to win the frame at that visit. Great to watch.
47. $54. 55.
Yeah, we've only had about 50 minutes of play so far. We've already had 7 centuries in this session.
62.
Extraordinary.
$63.
75 left, so this black, one more red for 2 each. And it's never really looked in doubt from the moment that Shaun Murphy made the safety error and left Ding an initial red into this left corner. But you've still got to pot them, as Fergal said, and Ding has done that very nicely. And these two players just picking up from where they left off in their previous rounds,
78.
queuing superbly.
Yeah, when Ding's in close like this, there's actually very little to say. It speaks for itself. Just seems to be simple pot, followed by simple pot. His cue ball control is immaculate. Again, the tournament organisers' prediction that this would be a great match and should be left till night time. They'd be fully justified in that decision.
$95 from Ding in the opening frame after Murphy missed the black. 101 from Murphy to level. 86 from Murphy after Ding missed the red. And now
94.
This for another century. 6 apiece now in this tournament. What a match. What a standard.
Yeah, going to put pressure on both players' safety shots after the interval. Again, we've already seen loads of breaks over 140 already.
108.
Every chance of another one here.
I mean, we talk about the corner pockets being on the receptive side, and that is true, but it's all relative. You go down to your local club, and in comparison, these all feel like pinheads, and yet these players are making this game at the moment look preposterous.
118.
Yeah, there's been tournaments where 143 would win the high break prize. Of course, we've seen brilliant 147 this week from Zach.
21.
Phenomenal standard all week, particularly in this evening's play.
Ding, of course, made one himself against O'Sullivan this season at the Masters. He's missed that pink, but it's another century break. His 6th of the tournament. Murphy having made his 6th earlier in the piece. This time it was a safety error from Murphy. And both of these players royally punishing the others' few mistakes. And after 4 frames were level at 2 each. Just waiting for the return of Shaun Murphy and Ding Junhui, the winner of this to play the man who dramatically defeated Ronnie O'Sullivan earlier on the final black. Ronnie O'Sullivan, that was Hossein Vafai, of course. Judd Trump beat David Lilly 5-3. Kyron Wilson made a century in the decider against Ben Wollaston. And Barry Hawkins knocked out the man who beat the world champion Luca Brissell. That was Stephen Maguire 5-1. Here we go. Ding breaking off in frame 5 of a possible 9. Place in the quarterfinals up for grabs. Shaun Murphy going for his first ranking quarter-final, leaving aside that championship league that he won at the start of the season in this campaign. So that's a measure of how he has, by his standards, struggled this season. He's 21st now, provisionally on the one-year list, so has to win this event to get into the Tour Championship to defend that title. Junhui safely there already as the 7th best player in the ranking list this season. Of course, those points he won in getting to the final of the UK again played a big part in that.
Yeah, he's in a little bit of trouble here, Shaun. Obviously he can play off the side of the pack, but the red that's closest to the right hand cushion is in the natural path. Might even be tempted to play that plant, but of course in playing the plant, well, it's no guarantee of putting it, your white ball will be going right into the reds, which would make it far too risky.
Wow.
He obviously felt it was worth the risk. A great shot. Where again, you can see he had to make that. From the other side of the table, a lot easier. They're all in a line. But sometimes shot selection between stupidity and brave can come down to the execution. And he executed that very well. Probably a little bit unfortunate in putting it that he didn't have a shot at a colour, but he'll just be relieved to have solved that puzzle he had. Again, he's in control. Again, similar issue for Ding here, with that red being on the side cushion. The natural path down to both compromised.
He's actually had to play a safety there, Fergal. That must be your influence from when he moved over to Dublin, started practicing with you.
Yeah, he listens to me the odd time.
Well, I know he actually credits you with greatly improving his tactical game. Murphy has always been the first to admit that that's a relative weakness in his game. Didn't stop him winning the World Championship or indeed the UK and the Masters as well. But it's certainly an area of his game that has improved in the last few seasons.
Yeah, exactly. We certainly don't want Shaun Murphy to start playing like Fergal O'Brien. But at certain times in a match, and in the best of them, we could just be talking about 2 or 3 shots, such are the fine margins, just to maybe walk away from certain shots you've been tempted by, try and have the percentages in your favour.
Oh, that's a handy fluke. Shaved the other red, which guided it into the pocket. And in a match of tight margins like this one, with very little to choose between them, moments like that could be important.
And actually the fact that he caught it a little bit thicker than he wanted has taken a little bit of pace out of the white, which instead of being on the balk cushion, on the balk line, it's given him this opportunity.
Six.
Just lost the white a fraction there. Again, you still would expect him to pot this black. And there was a little bit of pressure on it. Because again, as previous frames, the reds are open. If he misses this, it could well be his last shot. Yeah, he's just giving it that extra second. He's aware of the importance of it. Played it well. Pocket weight gave it every chance to drop.
13.
We've already mentioned today about the pockets playing
14.
slightly more generous. But again, they're still a lot smaller than you would find down the club. They end up playing on brand new cloths. That makes it easier for them to slide in, but let me assure you that snooker's not this easy a game to play.
Well, no, exactly. That's it, isn't it? It's all relative, yeah. Some of these match tables are tougher than others, but relatively speaking, they're all very tough. As Ronnie O'Sullivan found to his cost in missing match ball black earlier. Into the right corner. Played with a bit of pace.
22.
Ding looking to make the most of that slice of good fortune. It's all part of the game. Cruel for Murphy, but it only matters if he makes full capital from this.
Yeah, that flick on the red has worked out very well on this red. Just coming around to see where exactly he'd like to be on the pink. Ding's far too precise to just play a red and then find out where he is and take it from there. Wants to be in perfect position all the time. Having said it, just a fraction low on this red.
36.
More than he would like. And he's just having to look to play a cannon. Pot's a fraction more difficult and not absolute certainty. He'll be nicely on a colour.
He's still a relative youngster, you know, Ding. I mean, he's still only 36. He'll be 37 at the beginning of next month. But when we think about the World Championship and his chances of still adding that title to complete his career, age certainly isn't a barrier. When you look at what the likes of O'Sullivan, Williams, Higgins are still doing. Murphy now well into his 40s as well.
Yeah,
I guess it comes down to desire, doesn't it? Hunger.
Yeah, that's the big question mark with Ding. I think question is motivation. Again, certainly the World Championships and the UK Championship, always very highly motivated for.
Needs a good shot here to keep the break going. This isn't easy.
Yeah, good pot previously on the pink.
44.
Again, the pinky pot from the side cushion for Ding, it felt like a better pot than other players because, again, it's so unusual for him to have to play those kind of shots. Other players in compiling the century would probably always have one or two shots that may be out of position or have to play from the side cushion. Very rarely happens Ding. But crisis averted, back in prime position. Again, he's an absolute master in amongst the balls. Just seems to go from easy pot to easy pot, it appears. And looks very focused this week and fully motivated.
Getting close to edging in front
58.
after the initial fluke. 57 in front.
$59.
67 left, so this pink and one more red will do it, barring snookers.
Yeah, even the last ready pot, or it was a simple enough pot, he still left himself absolutely perfect on the pink with the natural angle just to stun over. Always seems to be not just close to the next ball, but also the right side. It's possibly only O'Sullivan for cue ball control.
The crowd acknowledging that was the key ball. luck plays certainly an important part in this game, which is
73.
primarily about skill, but it's also about whether you make the most of your luck when it comes your way, and that's what Ding has been able to do here. Apologising for
74.
the lucky initial red and then being utterly ruthless in making the most of that good luck. Nothing that Murphy can do about this. Can be fairly philosophical about this frame. It will still sting to lose it in the way in which he did. But it's not as though he missed when he was in.
81.
Also noticeable with Ding, even when he has the frame won, still gives every shot his full care and attention, wants to make the century, wants to pot every single ball, keep that rhythm. Again, over 650 centuries in his career. And it's no surprise when he can play positional shots like that.
83. Junhui 83 and a frame.
No century this time, but another outstanding break of 83 after the initial. Ding making the most of that good fortune to edge in front by 3 frames to 2. On Discovery Plus. Shaun Murphy playing catch-up. 3-2 down. Ding Junhui getting in initially with a fluke red in frame 5, but making it pay with another frame-winning break. Ding going for his first win over Murphy in over a decade. He's lost the last 5 times they played. This is the first time they've met in over 5 years.
Yeah, it seems Ding has had the exact same shot, more or less. The 3 times Shaun has broken off. A red has went towards the side cushion and a red above the black. Judged that nicely there. But again, with the black being available into both pockets, you just feel this frame's going to go the way the first 5 have. So again, as I said before, put a lot of premium importance on the safety of both players. Shaun, rather than try to leave it on the ball cushion, gambled to get a perfect snooker behind the yellow. Didn't manage it. So as a result, opportunities for Ding, open a few more reds and play a telling safety, get a good white, avoid the ball colours.
A big steal from Neil Robertson on table 5. Chris Wakelin was looking good to level at 2-all at the interval after Robertson had knocked in those 2 centuries in the first 2 frames. He was well ahead in the 4th, but Robertson has got in and stolen that one. So a 3-1 advantage for Robertson.
One.
Nicely done from Murphy, but closer to the side cushion than he would have liked.
Yeah, Ding found very good length with his cue ball, but obviously so close to the pocket. A lot of the time they're playing safety. The ball is safe rather than the white.
Yeah, it's wide.
Shaun Murphy. 1.
Plenty of pressure on that.
Yeah, it appears to be fortunate that in missing it, missed it by a good bit to be fair, considering it was black off its spot. It seems to have blocked the path of the red. Closest to him. Has left another red though.
One.
Well, Ding affording himself a rueful smile. Where
Yeah.
the cue balls ended up there.
Yeah, you very rarely get a reaction from Ding, but he's frustrated. There was a good pot. He knew there was pressure on it. If he missed, there was every chance he was going to hang the frame for Shaun. Pink wouldn't have been an absolute certainty, but again, if he'd have been on it and potted, it was a great chance. Safety's not too easy either. Try and gamble that he's going to hit one of the ball colours. Again, a good shot there. It's good as he could have hoped for.
It's going to be 4-1 to Jackson Page over Mark Selby, by the way, on table 2. Saw him get in early in that 5th frame, the first after the interval, and he's on a break of 84 as I speak.
Dean couldn't have played his shot much better, but unfortunately did leave that red for Shaun. Again, he had a little bit of luck in the last frame. Took full advantage. He's had a little bit of bad luck in this frame. It's important, Shaun, for it to respond back. The black not on its spot, but certainly still in play. And you'd fully expect Shaun to win the frame from this visit. Even though it's only a red in a colour, but from the standard of play he is shown. Not only do we expect it, but you feel he must.
6. $11. 12.
First opportunity he had to get over to the black, he's taken it. Again, with the black now being on its spot, the red's open. It's good.
20. $27. 28. 35. 36. 43. 44. 50.
I can tell you Jackson Page has just failed to make 4 centuries in going 4-1 up on Mark Selby. He broke down on 93, having made 130, 120 and 100. Selby also made a century in the frame he won. But Page on the cusp of his first ranking quarter-final appearance now, 3 up with 4 to play.
58.
Yeah, just a lousy 93 break in that frame.
Yeah, the record of centuries in a best of 9 is 6 between Kyron Wilson and Anthony Hamilton. Wilson, of course, among the winners in our first session today. Murphy doing the business here, though, to tie this match up. That was the important ball.
66.
If Jackson had made a century there, he would have had the opportunity of becoming only the second player ever to make 5 centuries in a best of 9, which O'Sullivan did in 2007 in Northern Ireland. But as you said, if he makes his first quarter-final, he won't be too disappointed. Meanwhile, of course, here, as
74.
we predicted, or just assumed, Shaun has made enough to win the frame.
$75.
From what we've seen this tournament, and certainly even today, it's hard to know how the standard of play can be improved. Very small margins. So just a little bit of luck in the last 2 frames has proved pivotal. Yeah, the excellence continues, and long may it continue. Tremendous match.
81.
This isn't too shabby a positional shot either.
88.
And Shaun Murphy continues his bid for a 7th century in this tournament. Just supreme cueing from both players.
$94. 96. $99.
Yes, 6 frames, 6 breaks over 80. This for the 3rd century. Shaun's 2nd.
103.
It's a scoring slugfest here in New Shaun.
108.
Yeah, the pockets may be playing slightly more generous, but there still is only 6 of them.
Yeah, and all of these pots are going right in the centre from Murphy. Fantastic 121 clearance. Century number 7 here at the World Open this year for Murphy to tie the score again. It's 3 frames all.
27. With the break.
If anything, it's exceeding expectations, this match, as Junhui breaks off in frame 7. Incredible standard from both players. 2 centuries from Murphy, 1 from Ding. 2 from Ding, I should say. And an 86. $95 to start the match from the Chinese. 130, 83, 101, 86, 121 just now from Murphy. So,
Yeah, sounds like you're given the dart scores.
It's extraordinary, isn't it?
Yeah, such as the standard of play, you felt a long red off the break-off was going to be vital. And again, that pattern continues. The black free, both pockets. Again, a little bit awkward here for Ding, playing this red to left corner. He'd love for that pink to be available, make it a lot easier. There was really a natural path to get closer to the black. Then they'd have to screw for the blue. Stretching slightly doesn't make it any easier.
Daniel Wells has got in on the century break-making act in his match with Elliot Slesser, the winner of that, to play the winner of the Selby-Page match. 121 from the Welshman to level at 2-all at the interval. Big shot for Ding. And this time, just a little wide. Got close to the fluke.
Yeah, we've seen from the previous camera angle that it looked like the pink was available. I'm surprised he didn't try and just stun over. Would have made the pot easier.
1. Eight. 9.
The red is at the bottom of the pack. Get low on it. That's what he's trying to do, just drop the black in dead weight to leave himself low on this red. And of course now, perfect in potting this red. Be able to disturb the pack and keep
16.
control on beyond position.
17.
Lost the white slightly. But again, just has to pot the black. There's reds available. Be playing at dead weight. He'll have a choice of reds if he pots it. Not sure exactly what he was looking at there in the pack. Seemed to be more of a cause of distraction. Just give this black your full attention. There's 2 open reds already.
Is it going to get there? Seemed to be curling into the pocket, but it didn't quite have the legs on it to drop. He's covered the pocket.
17.
Chance here for dig into the centre, though. And he's off and running again, but wait. He snookered himself on the black.
Yeah, and I'm not sure he can come off the side cushion. Be able to attack. Of course, nearly any contact on the black would drop. The red nearest the black spot to the left of it is preventing that. And of course, the fact he's bridging over those 2 reds can't decide to maybe try and manufacture the angle. And similar to the last frame, very unfortunate. And safety shot not too easy either. Helped by the fact, though, if he makes contact with any of the ball colours, he wouldn't leave it pot on, but you can see there he's reluctant to just play that safety. Trying to think, is there any way he can get at that black?
Yellow ball.
Just has to settle for playing for the yellow again. Any contact will do. Yeah, played it well. Again, as opposed to the last frame, there's no reds he was going to leave on, so managed. Again, another mini game starts, so you can pot the next red. The longer it goes without either player potting that red, more likely than we are to have potential stalemate or re-rack with that black being over the corner pocket. Taking an anxious look there. Can he make a plant? Play 1 red onto the other 2. Again, this must go. The reds will be going far and wide, and the black's over the pocket. So the whole frame could be decided just on this 1 shot here. Again, another great pot there. And this time, he's had that little bit of fortune, despite hitting other balls. On the black, hasn't been blocked this time. Again, gets this wide away from the jaws and is on the next red. It's a great opportunity.
Eight.
Shaun can obviously consider himself unfortunate that he's left that plant for Ding, but as we keep saying, such small margins. We have two great players playing at their very best.
9.
Meanwhile, the 96 clearance just now from Mark Selby ran out of points for another century. But he's closed nonetheless to 4-2 behind now against Jackson Page on Discovery Plus. So in that match, we've had 4 centuries and 2 90-plus breaks.
Control that well, Ding, considering he was going into other reds.
15.
Again, he's in classic Ding territory.
16.
Obviously, brilliant player in amongst the black, but I think if anything, he's better in amongst the pink. Always seems to be inches away from it. Very, very close. Just a simple series of stun shots.
22. 23.
Off the cushion, back right into the middle of the table. Wouldn't be surprised if Shaun said from his chair, just set these up. Let's start at the next frame.
29.
Always seems nearly inevitable. Ding's going to do enough to win the frame, particularly today.
30.
They've been playing barely 90 minutes in this match already. The 7th frame not that far away from being sealed.
$37. 38.
22 ahead. Even with this black, we'll still need one of those 3 reds over on that right-hand side cushion. It's a fairly big target to play with,
45.
with the 2 of them. Again, just needs any sort of a cannon in either one.
46.
A little bit short of pace there. Has to use the rest here.
52.
Should have screwed it back a little bit further. Wouldn't need the rest. Makes this pot a little bit more difficult, and the position.
53.
Again, using the rest was always going to make it a little bit harder to get perfect position on the colour to try and attack those 2 reds. Yeah, you can just see him there trying to work out the maths. 37 ahead. Could be tempted, maybe trying to play a safety shot and put a colour safe, give himself a little bit of insurance. I think it's worth the gamble to try and get close to them. good attempt, just a fraction away.
54.
And that's a good 41-point lead. Try and clip one of these two onto the side cushion.
Well, that's one way of maintaining the break.
Well, that's what I would have done.
Went like a bullet.
Yeah. Again, such as the standard player, they're just so reluctant to leave the table when they have a chance.
And that's frame ball. So just when Shaun Murphy may have thought there were still chances for him in this frame, snuffed out with that high velocity double from Ding. And that red surely seals the deal in this 7th frame. Well, it's been an incredible spectacle, this match. And the big breaks keep coming. But I've rarely seen Ding as in the zone, as they say, as he's been this week in Yushan. There's just been something a bit different about his demeanour. He's been utterly focused on what he's trying to achieve on the table this week. Of course, he's won this tournament before, as has his opponent. And he's now on the cusp of reaching the quarterfinals. Another frame-winning break. Shaun Murphy now looking to force a decider. He trails 4 frames to 3. Shaun Murphy breaking off, 1 down with 2 to play. A terrific match all the way through. Big breaks left, right and centre. Ding closing out the previous frame in spectacular fashion with that double on the penultimate ball that he needed to clinch the frame, when it looked as though Murphy might get a sniff at getting back into it. Hossein Vafai, of course, awaiting the winner in the quarterfinals tomorrow. He beat Ronnie O'Sullivan on the final black earlier today.
A little bit careless there from Shaun on playing that basic enough safety to catch the brown. Had an opportunity to maybe put Ding in a little bit of trouble on the right-hand side of the table. Ding's opportunity here now to play a telling safety, try and gain the advantage.
Neil Robertson is on the cusp of a first ranking quarterfinal appearance this season. 4-1 up now on Chris Wakelin. He's made 3 centuries and a 61, 140, 109 and 122 just now to go 3 up with 4 to play.
I think any player that has to go to the qualifying in English Institute of Sport will be hoping Neil Robertson does enough. You don't want to play Neil Robertson to try and qualify for the Crucible.
Yeah, I'm sure the seeded players at the Crucible will be feeling the same as well, because if he does have to go and comes through qualifying, what a horror draw that would be in round 1.
Yeah, good luck with that.
What price Ronnie O'Sullivan against Neil Robertson in round 1 at the Crucible? Would be interesting.
Having said that, on the other side of the coin, if he does have to qualify and win 2 matches, absolutely no guarantee at all he would get through. I know from experience, sometimes painful experience, that last round to get to the Crucible is massive pressure. But it's for another day. Yeah, Ding missing that red there. Also, cued a little bit quicker than he has other shots. And again, as well as he's been playing from close, there is still that little bit of vulnerability about him.
And he's dodged a bullet as well. You saw him hold his hand up because he's covered that Red into the yellow pocket by the green. Murphy could well have been off and running there and eyeing a 4-all scoreline had he been able to see that red. Still 2 each in the other round 4 match in this second session between Elliot Slesser and Daniel Wells. They have resumed after the interval. Wells is in early in the 5th frame. Winner of that to play the Selby or Page. Barry Hawkins to play the winner of the Robertson-Wakelin match. Oh, that's a great pot from Murphy.
One.
Not a very appetising colour to follow, though. Well, this is a real test, isn't it? This is nasty. Yeah, not easy at all. Pressure on it as well. 4-3 behind.
Yeah, even in practice on your own, that pink was difficult. Of course, 4-3 down against an opponent playing very well. Just made that a little bit more difficult again.
One.
There's some consolation, though, in the pink and now the black being out of commission. So again, there's possibility we might get a little bit of safety play. Dare I say it, even a scrappy frame.
Hasn't been anything remotely resembling that so far, has there? We're due one.
Junhui.
And things tend to get a bit tighter and edgier, obviously, when the winning line is in view.
Yeah, well played from Ding there. Just that little difference in getting the white so close to the cushion means that Shaun could only roll up to it. Ding has the advantage here, and he'll maintain it so long as he can keep the white close or on that black cushion. With being so close to the cushion, you can't get it low enough at the white to bring it back to that area. If this continues in a couple of minutes, though, all the reds will be open, probably all down the balk area. Whoever gets the first chance, whatever brilliant chance. Okay, Shaun just has to be patient here. And just hopefully some shot Ding will leave an opportunity to get play, telling safe to get back to the black cushion. But has he left a red to the right corner balk pocket? Good puff from Ding, but again, he shouldn't have had that opportunity. Poor shot on to leave him that chance. And it could well be his last shot.
Junhui Lee once again inviting the audience to remain still as possible. But I don't think anything that's happening around Ding Junhui is in any way phasing him this week. He's entirely focused on the balls on the table, which is a sign that His game is in good shape. When you're struggling a bit, those outside interferences can become more significant, but when you're playing in the sort of bubble that Ding seems to be right now, they're just not a factor.
Yeah, when you're playing with confidence, even when you are, in theory, under pressure, it seems a lot more easier to be able to handle it. Just back yourself and trust yourself more. And would be a surprise
15.
if Ding doesn't make enough here to put this frame and match to bed. I was looking at those 3 reds beside the black, but doesn't need to get himself concerned with those. There's enough reds open to win the frame without them. Might have been slightly concerned with putting the reds down the bulk area. He'd probably be getting low value colours. But doesn't want to make the issue any bigger than it is. Just keep putting balls, that will be enough.
A little
bit short of pace in the pink as a result. He's the wrong side of the pink. Yeah, excellent pot on the pink.
28.
There's a little bit of pressure on that.
He struck it with real authority, didn't he? It was one of those shots which, under pressure at this stage of a match with victory in the offing, was missable, but there was something quite emphatic about the way he dismissed that pink.
29.
Again, as a man, despite the open reds in the bulk area, seems to be preoccupied down this end. Again, he should just forget about the pink and potentially the black. So there's enough open reds with enough points available. He's not going to need those 3 reds. And if anything, those 3 reds, the position they're in, are giving him a
36.
level of insurance should he break down. Probably goes against his nature to play for an area and leave himself options. Loves to be precise, but he doesn't need to be here.
41. 42. 47. 48.
Points running out for Shaun Murphy. Just 67 left as things stand.
Ding now, position on the blue. That, again, still, he's had a look at this a few times. Either does the top red go or is it a plant? But he doesn't need it. As he's got the red on the side cushion. Just get nicely on that.
51.
Again, I would love to land behind it and be able to roll it into the opposite corner, but
So 57 the lead, 59 left. Cue ball's not great for Ding.
57.
He's looking for one more pot.
You must feel this plants a certainty.
And he was right, and that is the ball that will surely carry Ding Junhui to the last 8 here in Yushan. The pink to make sure. What a match it's been. What a performance from Ding Junhui. Shaun Murphy's played his part. He hasn't done much wrong. He left a red into the green pocket from distance for Ding at the start of this frame, though, and that's proved to be fatal. But Ding is looking so sharp.
65.
Made the UK finals this season, of course, but I reckon he's playing as well right now as he's done for a few seasons. This week, he has been very impressive in every round. Shaun Murphy offers his hand. Listen to that roar. He's an absolute superstar here in China, and he has wowed the crowd again. A fantastic spectacle, terrific entertainment. Murphy played his part, but it's Ding who has had the final word and come through by 5 frames to 3. And what a match we have now in the quarterfinals with the man who knocked out Ronnie O'Sullivan, Hossein Vafai, to play Ding Junhui for a place in the last 4. So Ding through in fine style by 5 frames to 3. An absolute scoring fest today. A match that lived up to its billing and then some. Disappointment for Murphy, although I think he'll take some consolation from the fact that his game's in decent shape. Of course, it means he won't be defending his Tour Championship in Manchester in a couple of weeks. He had to win the tournament to make that happen, but he looks pretty good with another assault on the World Championship in mind. But for Ding Junhui, well, he seems to be hitting his best form at just the right time in the season. And he can look forward to a mouth-watering showdown with Iran's Hossein Vafai in the quarterfinals tomorrow.